Ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ bájò, ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ bájò, olúwa mi ò dìde ojú
The ashen forge. Ashen's the Ashen Forge.
Hello and welcome to the Ashen Forge. I'm Phantom X, joined as always by Diggs and the legendary Neurotoxin. How y'all doing?
Doing all
Great.
right.
Yeah, apologies. This has been just one, we've not been doing what 4 weeks, been a minute, and then two, this has just been a crazy night. So a little late, not too late. What time is it? 8:04.
Yeah,
Not too
late.
terrible. So, but yeah, here we are back to. We finally, I think, have gathered enough to talk about Ashes. Just had a live stream. I don't know.
I noticed we have not been having Q&A section in the forums
I noticed that
since
too.
December or something like that.
I'm highly curious. I noticed that the last one that
Mm-hmm.
because I always go back just to see who got what answered, and they've stopped. They've stopped asking for questions. It's. I don't know. I'm curious if they would say why. My thought is is probably a lot of the questions they get on the forums like that have no relevancy to what they're showing, and so I'm guessing they're wanting to just get questions from the actual streams they do to try to be on topic. Would be my guess, but who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yes, I noticed that as well. So. But anyways, yeah, I mean, we can move right on. I don't know if y'all, it's been a minute. I don't know if y'all have anything else to.
I guess it's just more challenging to go back and check to see because they used to do, if they didn't answer on stream, then maybe they don't have time to do that. Maybe they're dealing so much with actual gameplay stuff that they don't have time to go over and say, hey, we didn't get to ask this question, but if you go here, you can find the answer.
Yeah, that's fine. I noticed last month they didn't say anything about hiring, even though they had been talking about it for a bit. Even on stream with Pirate Software, he was mentioning it. And then jobs magically appeared last week.
Good.
Yeah.
Speaking of jobs, it was awesome and surprising to hear some more familiar names like Adam and GM Snipey.
Yes. Yeah.
I haven't
live
watched the
stream.
stream.
Well, we had
You
some
probably
special
watched
guests for the first time. That was kind of fun.
So
I've watched the last 2 streams, 3 streams. I don't even know at this point. I know it's at least 2.
Oh, you can go back and watch them.
Bill
I'll just read
Trost
your
was
notes.
on. Bill Trost was on, which was nice, and Snipe Hunter was on. So that was fun.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. This last time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to go back and look.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm reading chat. Sorry, I just saw something about the rug coming soon, and I think.
Yeah, it's
Supposed
probably
to be at the end of the month.
Yeah, I could see it being out and playable by the end of the month. Sure, that's definitely believable. It's playable. They had a little bit of issue with the double daggers and not being able to limit only double daggers for the moment because they don't have all the other dual wields working just yet. Haven't seen anything about those other two-handed weapon types yet either.
Did they get two-handed shields?
No, there won't
Dual-wield
be
shields?
There won't be dual-wield shields. He said that's a little too much meme for this game.
I thought maybe Margaret talked him into it.
Nope.
You could put a
Nope.
skin on the orbs, he said, and maybe that would look like
Maybe.
dual wield
Maybe.
shields.
To throw the orb out and back and have it look like a Captain America sort of thing, yeah.
I mean,
Um,
Rogue was supposed to come like even in Apocalypse, so it's been a long time coming.
yeah. Well, it's Rogue is so good in its design that it makes all the other archetypes look like they need another pass.
That kind of
Hurts.
happens every time, yeah. Hmm.
Now this one
Yeah.
sounded like for real, like not like how everybody you went priest or cleric mate, but this one sounded like the rogue would just take everyone, like was up there with Bard for OP.
I think though
I
it
mean,
seems
in
like
terms of everything, like having high levels of synergy with the rest of the kit in a lot of ways, and not having a lot of depth. It's fairly shallow to get all the way up into your highest stuff and be able to be making like really good, useful, meaningful combinations along the way.
yeah, it
Like
seems
they,
like every time they get to a new one, they get ideas of how they want the overall design. So they want to go back and kind of add those similar systems into the previous ones. Um, what was the name of the thematic uh, like skill line um, that they talked about? I think they mentioned it, but I can't remember what the name of it is.
What do you mean?
Well, kind of like you have your different like the bard will have their dances or whatever, and then I forget what the fighter has, but you have your little
Oh, that's supposed to be called
archetypal
something.
system.
oh, yeah, they had their poisons and their tools, which are fun and they're
No, but
very
they're trying to build up, aren't they trying to build up something like tanks will be trying to do a threat thing, and then you
Oh,
build or
you're talking about their resource that they build. Yeah, I
yeah.
can't recall what it's called, but
Hmm.
yes, they do have their own exclusive resource.
Hmm.
Um, it is playing them is definitely fun, and the first impression I got is they're going to be great in groups. They're going to be great solo. They're going to be great as one of those jerks that sneaks up on somebody who's trying to gather something that might be rare and snaking it from that person, stunning them and starting to hit the tap. And it's like, all right, you want to try to take it from me? Well, fight me, brah. I'm a rogue. Um, but when it comes to like big PvP, like group PvP, it's exactly as Steven said. What had told people is that they're not going to be in there mixing it up with the crowd. They're going to be sitting towards the outskirts, sitting towards like places where they can hide and trying to find a straggler or a good target of opportunity, sneak their way through with stealth over to that person, kill them, and then using evasion and grappling hook and other things, do what they can to escape. So that way, they create a bit of a distraction, pull some people away, and are able to kind of get out and reset and do it again. So it's going to be interesting because rogues, that's what I expect. They're going to be like hidden on a rooftop or something, or hidden, in the corner of an area people don't normally check. And, they'll wait. And then when there's like somebody who's overextended or the enemies kind of have their back turned and there's a healer on the backside that you can easily pick off, that's when the rogue will come into action, kill that person, maybe throw some bleeds and CCs at some of the other people nearby, and you get the hell out of there.
Sounded like I thought I heard Steven describing them as being bit mobile, a
Mm-hmm.
bit more mobile than
Very.
that. Wanting to go in definitely through stealth. It sounded more melee and in the fray and moving about the battlefield rather than just trying to stay in one spot. But I haven't played it, so
Not,
I don't know.
I don't mean like hiding out in one spot and waiting like a spider waiting for flies, but like, you know where the momentum of the fight is going and where there's going to be stragglers soon. So you kind of get in stealth. You have to be about 30 meters away from everyone else, from
Hmm.
all prying eyes to enter stealth. So you'll
Gotcha.
go somewhere that's a little like out of the way to engage stealth, and then once you're in stealth, yeah, you can start to kind of wiggle your way through to a better position and be ready to like jump down from the wall on somebody or something.
So does it deactivate when you get close?
It does not deactivate when you get close. It can be seen from the frontal 180 arc. Currently, Arcane Eye doesn't spot it, but it also doesn't spot camouflage, so they just need to fix that spell.
Hmm.
But if you're in the rear 180 arc of the person, they just aren't seeing you. They're not
Hmm.
going to see you. So
Hmm.
other than the tryhards who know to like spin their mouse every now and then to look for stealthers, um, and don't know how long you have to look at them for them to actually appear as well, that might have a little bit of a, can't just turn around quickly. You got to look at them for like up to 2 seconds or something. That might still be in the works, but either way, that's going to be one of the things that's kind of nice. Now, one of the things that's fun about them is how disorienting they are to fight against, because they have a few ways to get behind you, and they have a way to temporarily prevent you from turning.
Hmm.
So they have multiple ways to stay behind you and just keep on menacing you like that. I would imagine a lot of people, their first move is going to be doing a dodge backward, so that way it's harder for the rogue to do their thing, and then if the rogue does it again, maybe do another dodge roll backwards.
Hmm.
But that'll be interesting to see, because it might be through all the CCs and damage output that they just straight up kill you and you don't really have a chance. Which is something it sounds like they're going to be looking at, is that time to kill is definitely maybe a little too high, and it makes it hard for like an actual expression of gameplay when people are just smashing each other so quickly.
I thought you said the TTK was high.
Yes, excuse me. TTK is low. It needs to be high.
So
The
that's what they were saying. That was one of my questions because it came up a couple of times. People asked about TTK, and the answer was, well, they're working on it, but I didn't have a reference to what that meant. I was hoping it meant that they're making it a little higher, but they didn't
Yeah.
actually say they were
No,
making
it
it higher.
sounds like they're going to be looking to make it higher, because it's way too quick for people to die. Like if you're a cleric or a bard, you have a lot of ways to keep healing yourself as you retreat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and other things add for mobility to get away. So you have a lot more endurance than somebody that doesn't have any sustain, and you've just been caught. The CCs and the dots and everything. It's like, well, guess I'll die. Um, Especially when like a really geared out tank is able to just like enter for 5,000 damage on their first hit, which is going to be a lot of people's health pools.
Yeah,
Uh,
I wonder,
yeah.
talking about how the rogue has ways to get the target to look away from them. I mean, it almost makes me wonder how that would synergize with the tank, especially if you could do like a reverse taunt to get that person to focus on the tank. It makes me wonder about um, classes like the Night Spell or the Shadowcaster to see something close to an illusionist We don't have that as a class name, but it has me wondering what that would be like. If you have a rogue that can use illusions to help have people focus elsewhere. When are we getting classes? I don't think it's
Well,
going to be in May.
no, we're not going to get them at the start of May. I don't imagine they're going to release the tank and cleric secondary archetypes until they're ready to raise the level cap beyond 25 and
Obviously, yeah.
introduce master level artisan stuff.
Mm.
I mean, don't they need the summoner first too?
Well, of course, yeah, they need the summoner first, 100%. I would imagine Summoner is going to be coming before they start getting the archetypes, the secondary archetypes out there.
So you're thinking, did they say Summoner is not going to be at the beginning of May? What did they say about Summoner for phase 3?
They ain't said nothing about Summoner.
No, not a word. I think one of the next stream is it, or is it April? They said they're going to do like a hey, this is what you can expect at the beginning,
Yeah.
but they've not led on to what any of that would be. I mean, I think all you have to do is go look at phase 2. Now, I think Stephen has said that they're going to like add in a lot or something at the end of March or something like that. I mean, there's a lot. Actually, I have it. I can flip off this gameplay real quick. Maybe. I did put it up here for everyone. Oh, there it is. Yeah, phase 2. We have 2 months. 2 months left. So
What day in May did they say it's going to start?
I'm saying May 1st because they said May.
I'm thinking like May
Nah,
20th.
I ain't gonna give them until May 30th or whatever the last day. What is that? What is the last day of May? Whatever the last day of May is.
No, I didn't say the 30th. I said I'm thinking it's going to be May 25th.
Nah, May 1st.
Well, it can still start even if it doesn't have all the stuff in it, right?
Yes, my point being is though we don't have. I guess we'll see what they dump on us in March. I mean, given the expansion of Desert, how long were the servers down just from adding a couple of POI? What did they add? Like a node or something? Rogue's not been back on PTR for. It was on there once, right? And then, it was twice.
No, it's been on there a few times,
But they've not changed it from the first time. Like there's been no update to the Rogue on PTR.
Not that I'm aware of. Maybe they made some changes and asked people to like. It wouldn't have been balance changes. It would have been like maybe functionality and things work changes.
There's nothing to notes or anything.
Yeah, they're in the stream they had said, and I think it was even in somebody's. It was a Chaos on Lace live stream interview where he had said that rogues are effectively complete from the archetypes team, and that it's been passed along to the I think it was like art and audio, and they're mostly in the process, I believe, of finishing up all the rest of the stuff for it. So I think it's mostly ready, and it just needs the rest of the polish before they're going to put it out there.
I mean, all the feedback that I heard though is it's broken. Not broken. It's like it's just way OP. Like it's. I mean, I don't know.
Well, we won't really know until they unleash the beast.
But
That's what balancing is for. That's okay for it to start OP.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 months.
Everyone's going to be a rogue, and then it's going to get balanced over the course of a couple of months, and then it's going to be like, oh, okay, well, if you like playing rogue, it's a good rogue, but it's not like, murdering people with like starter weapons anymore.
Stephen and Margaret seem to think that there'd be a lot of people, probably most people would be playing Rogue come May.
Oh yeah, no, I
Well,
expect
whenever it's released. Whenever it's released, so I guess
That's
that's going to be April.
entire rogue alt guilds to be forming.
Hmm.
it's because that's all that they're only thing new. Everybody's done
Yeah,
everything else.
exactly. That's
Um,
why. Yep.
Guild leveling. I'm sure the sweaty ones have really gotten into that already. Um, Leveling
Oh,
a
tell me
guild
about
takes
that.
effort.
Yeah, so what's
Okay,
happening with guild living?
it's a
so
pain in the ass.
you can get a crate. It's a 1 by 1 crate, so you can stack a lot of them, but they're expensive. They cost almost 1.4 gold in glint equivalent, which is not a small amount, not an insignificant amount. That's if you've got a really good spot, like an hour or maybe less worth of effort, or if you've got a good group that you're working with, maybe you're able to get a few of the 1 gold glints. Um, it's dim, dull, uh, bright, glowing, illustrious. So it's one glowing and it basically 1.4 gold's worth. And that'll give you, if you take it the longest trek all the way from um, Halcyon to Azmoran or Azmoran to Halcyon, it gives you almost 100,000 guild experience
Okay.
out of. You need at least is like 5.6 or 5.8 million, I think, for the first guild level up. Now, the first guild level up is the same one for everybody. Is I believe it's 15% decreased XP debt and plus 10 membership for the guild. And then it branches 3 different ways, and I would imagine each one is going to take more experience to level up. So that's a hell of a lot of effort. It's a lot of glint grinding. It's a lot of doing very long, very dangerous caravan runs. Um, most of the game, you're not going to get ganked, but if you go into the lawless zone, or if you assign attacker, defender, or run a caravan, all bets are off. You are now engaged in PvP, which
Yeah.
honestly, Diggs, I feel like that kind of comes to that measurable amount of PvP where if you like decide, yes, I will come on and I will engage in like 1 2 hour PvP session or something like that. I can see it coming in the form of like joining a caravan defense or attacking a caravan or even running a caravan and kind of hoping for the best.
Yeah.
Um,
Usually my limit seems to be about 1 hour, but
1 hour.
2 hours might be okay.
You can do 1 hour, like just a short one, and then if you
I
make
have
it,
not seen a short caravan run yet, but I haven't gotten
They're
that
gonna get
far.
fast. As soon as we get better stuff,
Okay.
like more
they
stuff, they'll
they
get
they
fast.
definitely get fast. I want to say it's like 40 minutes to the tropics or so, or tropics from Halcyon, which is it pays.
Yeah.
But that's one of
Well,
the
I heard
things.
somebody claim. Didn't somebody claim in our Discord like 15 minutes?
That's a wild route if that's what they got.
That's
If
what it
they got
said.
some fucking
I asked for a
speedy
video,
wheels
didn't get one
going
though.
on.
yeah, that's also the
But you don't have to
those
ride
are
fast.
basically node caravans though, right? So you could do your like a
What do you?
freehold one maybe or something like that, freehold or personal one that might not take that long. So
I don't know what you mean by a node caravan. The
it's
caravans,
not
any caravan any player runs is a personal caravan right now.
okay.
You can only run cargo crates that you purchase with Glint, or materials. And materials is dumb because you can just run materials manually. And
Yeah,
if
but
they're
where are those originating from?
what
The
the
caravans.
the caravans themselves or the materials for that you put
No,
in?
the caravan itself. When the caravan is ready to go, where does it leave from?
Oh, yeah, you're gonna have to deploy it from a node with a caravansary.
Yeah, and I think probably aren't there supposed to be I don't think that's always the case, is it? Can't you do it from a freehold?
Um, Not right now.
I know not right now, but I thought that
Yeah, because
was
you're also supposed to be able
Well,
to summon a caravan to another caravan that you destroyed. So
yeah.
yeah, well, you can do that. You can summon if you've got a caravan parked somewhere and one of your caravans gets destroyed. If you've bought a summon beacon from the lady in the outhouse for 33 silver or whatever, you can use that and bring your empty caravan to pick up the cargo and keep going, or just to pick up somebody else's caravan cargo that you just destroyed. But that's sometimes hard because people will just go straight in with the crowbar and just crap on the value and take a sliver. Because
yep.
like if you transport a box from Marilith all the way to Halcyon and you don't quite get it to the tropics, somebody busts it and opens the crate, they're only going to get 75% of the Marilith value, as if it was sold there. So it's really junk compared to trying to get the rest of the way if you're some sort of ganker of that kind.
Rive put a really good video a couple of days ago. I think he, as he mentioned several times, is the only one of the few content creators. I guess Nero, you're probably one of the others that actually is playing um, at this point, and that has actually got to level 25 multiple
Mm.
times. Um, but he put out an interesting video, kind of talking about the things that need to be fixed. But these were two of them. This is why it comes to mind. One was the guild leveling process. That as it stands, small guilds are just screwed. Like there's just no way. There's just no way you're going to compete with large guilds the way it is currently. That they
Well, the
just
way it is currently, you can actually trade other people for sigils of valor. I don't know if they're going to change that down the road, but right now, it is possible that you could just be earning enough gold and potentially buy them, or have friends from other guilds hand them to you, or something.
But I think it's a fair point that smaller guilds really are going to get left behind from the leveling
Yeah.
process. Bigfoot, we've been on Vira, and I actually plan to go to the EU server whenever I go back. But anyways,
Small ones and casual ones. If you just don't do like big, tough effort sort of things, you're never going to be able to get enough glint together
yeah.
to be able to run the caravan, and you never actually get like big badass caravans and a whole lot of defenders committed to it, then you're just not going to be able to level 2 like that. You're just not going to be able to get the materials across to do it.
But he also mentioned that nobody at this point runs, and I think Nora, you were just starting to kind of talk about this. Nobody really uses caravans to run materials anymore. Anyways, it's all
Right.
about the guild process, just because it's not safe. Like you can safely transport because corruption. His argument was corruption is still so punishing that nobody's really going to mess with you if you're just on a mount versus on a caravan, and that because of the corruption being so tough, really the only PvP people have right now are caravans that they can jump into, and so it's people have just stopped transporting materials is kind of what he's mentioned, and
I don't
so
know
Well,
that anybody ever transported materials. The only time anybody would ever transport materials is if they have the quest
yeah.
to transport 3 small crates packed with 20 stone and 20 wood apiece. And like that one, it's a good introduction. It's a good way to get your ass kicked on the open road for no good reason as a lowbie. It's like, yeah, welcome to Vera. Let's teach you how this mechanic works and kill you. But other than that, no, nobody ever that I'm aware of ever ran a caravan specifically to move materials from point A to point B. It's always just so much easier, so much faster to do it on your mount. There used to be an exploit where you could just drown yourself, and if nothing hit you along the way, you would just keep all your materials and get no XP debt or anything. They got rid of that though, but it's yeah, I don't. The only people who actually did transport materials that I'm aware of is the devs during the live stream where they demonstrated it.
Yeah. I don't know.
So yeah, it does say that personal caravans do start from node caravansaries,
Yeah.
but once you
They're supposed to be how you get materials to a freehold. So yeah, that definitely does check out.
we once we get castles, then there should be more caravan runs because you should be using caravans to build up the um what is it? Does it go to stage 3 each week? There's a build up of one like village area around the castle. The castle nodes. There's 3 castle nodes and there's
Five. I
caravan.
believe there's
No,
five
no, there's
castles.
5 castles. There's 5 castles, but each one has 3 village nodes associated with it. That helps build up the defenses. So each week there's a little mini siege where you try to make sure that village doesn't get to stage 3 or something like that.
Once they actually get the rest of the node siege and vassal system going, I would imagine there's also going to be an element where the caravan carrying the tax portion is, formally commissioned to a particular individual who is then charged with transporting it, or otherwise that they could do it a different way where there's just an order up to get these materials from this place, and then whoever fulfills it gets like a different kind of bonus or like additional I guess it'd be maybe giving them a shit ton of the regional resource tickets so that way they can buy whatever from the town vendors over by the town hall, and then kind of halfway up and around the town goods vendor or whatever, not the general goods vendor.
Yeah,
The
so
one who sells the cloak.
node sieges are coming when?
It sounds like they're also going to be closer to maybe a month or two before they're fully finalized and in. Let me see. What did I write in my notes here?
Which is weird because those have gotten more testing than the Rogue has.
Well, it requires focus testing. You can't just put it in.
Which they've done several times.
The Rogue, it's been a little bit more just like try it out, let us know. Yeah, a couple of months before the node siege is up and running, and they won't have node destruction immediately. It'll just be the current version where you're trying to bust down the walls and capture the flag sort of thing.
Yeah, and so that's node sieges, and then once that gets in, then we have to get castle sieges in, which is different. Plus we have to have so somebody asked
once node sieges are in, we need to get the rest of the node siege stuff in. I don't know when we're actually going to get the first castle.
That's kind of my point.
Yeah, I don't get any inkling that we're going to have the first castle before phase 3.
It's definitely not going to be before phase 3. I'm talking about when castle sieges are going to make it into stage 3, which seems many months away. But
They've got to have 3 What, they've got to have another region that actually has the space for it, or they've got to carve out
Well, that's
space
what I was
for
gonna say. They mentioned, so somebody asked about wipes, and Steven said that he thinks the first wipe, I mean, there might only be one, and I think they want to have as few wipes as possible, but he said he's expecting a wipe of the freeholds specifically, um,
But
once
we
they're
already
ready
knew
to
that.
have, yeah, yeah. Wow, some people didn't.
Ah!
Um, so once they're ready for the non-static freehold, so right now we have some placeholder static freeholds that you can do some stuff on, but once they change it so that you can build your freeholds yourself, then um, kind of more where you want them, they'll have a wipe, which means there's going to be a significant change to the map, which also means, castle sieges are going to be after that as well.
Well, good,
Um,
because the freeholds, like, they stepped on a bunch of quest stuff. They killed like half the runic steed spawns. They were just a mess the way they were thrown in.
mhm,
And so I'm really going to be happy to see them coming through a little bit more intentionally,
mhm,
and I'm going to be glad to finally see the ashlar blocks being useful to make.
mm.
Maybe I'll finally make a stonemason on one of my alts.
Yeah. I want to go back to this phase 2 stuff.
Yeah,
Because,
absolutely.
so looking at, so again, 2 months, 2 months. So we the Sand Squad Desert expanded. Yes. That's,
Yes.
that has happened. Um,
We got Dunir.
We got Dunir and Valoon. Yes, yes, yes.
Vandegar Tropics, so they still have to do something with that.
Yeah.
That's not been touched. That's supposed to be expanded.
They could
Um,
Okay, so wait,
extend
so wait, so
that.
wait, so wait. Talk about that a little bit. So it's in, but they have to do something with it.
The Vandegar Tropics have been in as the lawless zone since the start of Phase 2. What they haven't had is any adjustments to the land, its configuration, the land masses, etc. And how it's configured right now, they only have one spot off on an island off in the distance where the turn-in point for caravans is at. I don't know if they're going to plop a city there. I don't know if they're going to plop nodes around. I have a feeling that the entire layout of the area is going to change significantly. Certainly the population. They're not going to have 5-star Kumats running around just like one shot stomping entire groups of people in you know just absolutely barbaric fashion. So yeah, no, there's going to be a lot to change. It's gonna. I hope it's not going to be like the desert where it feels like they made it harder than the Riverlands. Like the Riverlands is the newbie zone or something, and it's tougher out of there. That's currently what it feels like, though. It's real bad.
yeah.
If you go outside Winstead, yeah, there's some wolves, and like if you go too far in a certain direction, you'll find some stuff that'll chew you up if you're level 10. In the desert, if you're level 10 and you go outside of the safety part of the node, there's immediately 1-star and 2-star creatures, and the base types for the scorpions and the beetles is not something you want to be messing with to begin with. They'll already destroy you. So no, it's just pure horror running around anything less than like level 20 in the desert.
Um,
So
okay,
hopefully
do
we'll
we
come
have
out soon.
election type economic elections?
we have one election type still,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I don't see any other changes coming to that anytime soon.
yeah.
I don't see vassalship coming anytime soon.
4
Uh,
levels,
4 levels.
2 more
Um,
unique node layouts. So we got to go through all this. That's coming at the end of March.
yeah.
2 new layouts, 4 levels, node siege, although they say that will happen. Vassalship, node.
Wait, so what do they mean by levels? Is that stages? So it's gonna
Yeah.
go up to town?
Yeah,
I
I
believe
guess
so.
so.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how I've read it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I just want to make sure, terminology changes. So it's supposed to be
Mhm.
stages for nodes. So 4 stages. So town stage. Okay, we
Yep.
haven't seen the town stage yet.
Nope.
Node
Okay.
death. Don't know when that'll happen. Additional
Nope.
mayoral commissions. I think they have had some additions
Yeah.
there. Relics. Freeholds have been loosely added. Additional service buildings. Don't know what all that entails. Yes, economic election type, as you mentioned. That still, March is going to be a big month.
April. We have April.
Now he said by the end of March is the big patch. Is what he isn't that what I saw that somewhere. Um,
Okay. I didn't say he didn't say all that stuff was going to be in March.
I anyways, dual wield daggers, which should be coming at the end of this month. Two-handed spear, two-handed mace, two-handed axe. Um, I'll keep going. Siege vehicles. I'm mentioning everything that's not here. Siege
Right.
vehicles,
Hmm.
tempering, gems and sockets, gear ascension, repair kits. We do have artisans do we have artisanship skill trees? We don't have those yet, right?
Been
Animal
looking
husbandry.
forward to 'em.
Yep. Animal husbandry breeding. Party gathering. Player shops have been loosely put in, need a lot of work, but well, not player shops actually. This is just a
No, we have
marketplace.
market stalls. We don't have
Yeah, we don't
player
have
shop.
player shops. Leaderboards, additional chat system functions, and
We
instance housing.
we do have some leaderboards for some of the wars and stuff, I believe.
So basically, everything out of that systems is not really in at all. And then content, story arcs, still poking through the files. The story arcs that are in the files have been the same for quite a long time.
They broke things for a moment by putting the quest inventory in. Now you can use the quest inventory. It kind of works automatically, but unfortunately, if stuff builds up in there and there isn't really a turn in for it, I don't know. I don't. It hasn't filled up for me on anybody just yet.
I think there are technically some active story arcs, but I don't know that they are truly represent the vision of what a story arc is versus just sort of questing.
Right.
Um, let's
A
see.
GM
quest scene
Snipey
isn't the story arc.
GM Snipey seemed to be excited about one of the storylines that he didn't want to spoil, but um, seems like some stuff is almost ready to drop in. I don't know if that was supposed to be before phase 3 or not. You remember that part, Nero?
Yeah, yeah. Those are going to be coming with Squall's End and Jinnah, the remaining 2 nodes to go in the desert.
Hmm.
And I don't remember exactly when he said that those are going to be coming in, but I think those are going to be, um, if they're just going to be using the same footprint as they've been using for all the other places, maybe a month or so to get them in
Hmm.
and kind of
Okay.
populate the areas around them appropriately. But when
Uh,
they do put them in, I think they're going to want to add those little islands they're talking about. So they've got a lawless zone past the Sand Squall Peninsula. And that's weird to me. How the hell do you put, like, Arizona in a peninsula like that? Like, how does that work? It wouldn't be all dry and arid like that. That's not how things. Well, whatever.
Treasure
Magic.
maps. Treasure maps we do have. I actually
Yep.
Kind of.
I enjoy treasure maps.
When they
Yeah,
work?
yeah, when they work.
Yep.
That
When they work, you can find them.
actually do. I think that's a system that they should build upon. Uh, dynamic events, not yet. Story arcs, like I mentioned, not really. Dynamic world dungeons. We do have some new pocket dungeons. I don't know about dynamic components. NPC ambient behavior. I don't know what that means other than just walking around.
Dynamic probably just means they have a day-night cycle response.
So, out of this, I guess we still have 2 months. We've been in what? When did this happen? December 20th. So we've had January, February,
Go 2 months. We got another
Well,
two
two and a
months.
half months basically. Well, there was
Hmm.
holidays.
Yeah, December through I would say end of January. Yes, work got done, but by and large, that's when
End
they
of
were
January.
doing. Yeah, by and large, from December through the end of January, there was some combination of work, and there was some combination of vacation, and there was some combination of the Great Production Summit that they were talking about. Um, so after the Grand Production Summit was completed, they have been starting to get the ball rolling in a lot of places and really, February, it was a messy month and they said it's been a rough one, but at the same time, they got a lot done in the past month. And it seems like things are moving a little bit smoother and that they're doing a lot more implementation and a lot less just like trying to fix the bugs and make sure things work to begin with. Having things maybe working a little better off the bat. So if they're able to maintain this momentum, then that'll definitely help out. Now that's another thing to think about is that a lot of the leads and a lot of the senior leadership were busy with that production summit while everybody was cramming the desert in as a response to um, that one Drew bloke being all stupid and saying the desert was empty.
Mhm.
So that was, I guess, another thing that was a little odd, and it felt like the desert was a little half baked when they put it in, and it was a little half baked when they put it in, and they're still having little half baked moments like the accidental whoopsie that some of the enemies players were killing were dropping a treasure chest's worth of loot every time you killed them. So, yeah, that's why they had to do a rollback, but um, they're going to be keeping the servers up. They're not going to be taking them down next Tuesday and Wednesday. So, I guess that's a nice compensation for the server troubles that they'd been having.
What was the fix that Jamie Chaos instigated? Do you remember? Steven said
Oh,
Steven said he went on a call to fix that like right after talking to Jamie.
yeah, I can't remember which one that was.
Mhm.
I thought it might have been guild related, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
What are you talking
It
about?
was nice to hear. There was something I can't remember what it was.
Maybe I wrote
Some
a note about it or something.
some big I don't know if it was an exploit that dropped. Jamie Chaos said it needed to be fixed quickly. They were already working on it, but I guess Steven like
Ah,
um put in a call to have them try and fix it quickly.
um, but yeah,
Oh, yeah, it was the hotkeys for need all and greet all. So that way when they pop up, you don't have to sit there clicking through each one of them while you're in the middle of combat because someone wanted to loot before they're potentially had their loot go public because that's how little contested things kind of are.
so I'm gonna take this off the screen real quick, but just as to, it's perhaps better to recap what we do have from this phase two. 2 months left. We have Sand Squall Desert Expanded. We have Freeholds.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Veilun and Dunir.
Mm-hmm.
We have treasure maps.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Out of that whole, I'm just gonna take it off here, and we can move on.
Yeah. So if a lot of this stuff sounds like it, a lot of that stuff seems like stuff that maybe they needed to do an additional meeting and get people more connected on. So they probably needed that time they spent in January to get everybody on the same page and on track for getting the rest of these systems in. And the way that the folks on the call were talking about it there on the stream, it sounds like they're really excited for what's coming up. That's exciting to me.
I mean, they always sound excited. They've never had someone on there that sounded like they were bored as shit or pissed.
Oh no,
Steven ain't gonna
not
set someone up like that. They're always gonna sound. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm sure
not
they are
not
excited, but
excited like that, but like a genuine like y'all are gonna see my work and it's gonna blow your fucking minds, like that kind of
well, I would
excitement.
say that too. You got to be proud of what you're doing. I'm just saying they're not gonna put on somebody that sounds like they're bored and ready to leave. So
I guess that's why we haven't heard from Homeboy.
Oh, I
Um,
don't know that he's bored and ready to leave. I think
I
he's
know,
having
I
a
know.
good
I'm
time
kidding. I'm
making.
kidding. I'm
He's
kidding.
he's
I'm
he's
kidding.
doing a lot, making a lot of fun lore. Like the stuff that I know that he's worked on, that he's mentioned about. Yeah,
It,
I
it's
I like it
been
a
at
lot.
least 2 years since we've been asking for him to come on the Ashen Forge, and I think we've had Steven on twice, and we've asked him, and he'd be like, "Yeah, if he's okay with it, yeah, maybe we can make that happen." And then we get nothing. Um, and it's almost time for another interview with Steven. We can't even get one with Ombwa. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, at
because
least
Steven can say whatever he wants.
I,
um,
they'll just move it to phase three, which also makes me laugh when they're like, "Well, it would be any time in phase three." It's like, well, phase three is like from now till launch. So I mean,
yeah, exactly.
No, Phase 3
Exactly.
isn't from now till launch.
yes,
Phase
it is.
3.
You're gonna have a
It's
2 week
from
beta
now until
period.
beta. Mm, we'll see.
No, I'm pretty sure beta is going to have a lot of content that they're going to want to work through and balance
Yeah,
and tune
yeah,
and implement. Like,
yeah. I don't think it can be only 2 weeks. Um, but
yeah.
I like that we do have a
Oh, and he
roadmap. We know
confirmed,
what
by
they.
the way, he confirmed that we're not going to have just the one continent, that we're going to have both continents at launch. So that's not a feature they're cutting.
Mm. Yeah, that was an interesting way that they asked that question. Didn't they ask if are we going to have it before launch? Which made me think of Phantom's concept of does
Yeah.
that mean that there might be something that's not coming in at launch? But we'll see. It's nice to know that we have this little roadmap. We can see what they're working on. We do know that they're working on Rogue. We do know that they're working on the daggers. We do know that they're working on node sieges. So we know what they're working on, and that's you know still fairly transparent and good. It's better than not knowing what they're working on. And they seem to be making progress on that stuff. So it's not necessarily horrible that it's not going to come at the point that they predicted a year ago.
I mean, Steven did say. I mean, Steven himself said they're going to cut. They've made some decisions to change some things from launch to post-launch. We don't know what
Yeah.
those are. He said
Yeah.
he said that on his stream, his very first stream.
For all we know, they're things that are going to be effectively unknowable to us right now, and we won't know that they have been withheld until after launch. No idea. I have played the Rogue, Lefty. I like it as a single soloer that needs to eat rations after every battle. Um, or as the one that does all the damage if you're rolling with a healer. Um, it's like, yeah, why solo farm by getting a big group of things when I can just, assassinate one stars real quick? that are like 5 levels above us. It rolls in. That XP, that glint rolls in. Might get some loot along the way. They're definitely so well designed, the rogue, that I'm eager to see what changes will be applied to the other archetypes. And then likewise, once the rogue is finally out, I'm eager for them to finally start saying summoner for the first time in a while.
Oh,
Because that has been out of their mouths.
I guess this person is hoping by map. They mean hoping there'll be continents that aren't there. We already have a map, don't we? At least have a mini map.
Do what?
It says I'm hoping the thing
Oh,
that
temple.
are not at launch is map, but I think that means
It's, I think, just land
continent.
mat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would be fine with them only having one continent if that meant they got to get stuff out sooner and tested it thoroughly. I mean, rather than rushing to get everything out. But whatever. I also
I want to say there to in chat to Trip Killer 51. They are definitely going to be gatekeeping things in a way that's not as obvious, that certain events and certain opportunities will only occur if that node has leveled up high enough, and possibly that it needs to have certain populations to it too. So there will be things that we simply won't see and won't know about and won't experience at the same time. It's not like we build up all of the theme park rides and they're all waiting for us. While this node is up, certain things may be revealed that we couldn't access otherwise. Likewise with the seasons, there could be things that are effectively season gated, that only during certain parts of the year is this cave and this dungeon and whatever you can access in it open. And it could even be a way, not necessarily to like procedurally generate, but if they wanted to update some of these places that get closed off, change their populations, change how some of the props are configured so it looks different the next time, they could do that. And any server that's got it up to that state for the second time will now see like a different configuration. They could do things like that and have fun with it. So, that's the sort of thing that I would imagine is going to be more of the gatekeeping. It isn't where you can initially go on a fresh start map, but what you won't be able to access until parts of the world build up high enough that these events and these sorts of things occur. I hope it's not going to be so obvious as a swirl of black smoke and then suddenly a new thing appears in front of you. But if that's how it's going to be, hey, that's fine. Kick me out of the area first so I don't get squashed by the terrain. I don't think the Underrealm should be a 1-year anniversary expansion. I think the Underrealm needs to be there as part of the live launch. So you've got the way to bridge between the continents.
It's a
oh,
But
stretch goal. It's a stretch goal. So if it doesn't make it, it's kind of okay technically, but we'll see.
the sounds you were making there, it sounded like you're trying to hold back a burp from like a really spicy pizza or something. Like you sounded very uncomfortable there, Phantom.
I'm just imagining a world where the uh,
The Underrealm
Underrealm
and
and the
Tolnar,
Tolnar
Fifth
are not in
Kingdom.
launch, and where
Yeah,
that will go.
that would be interesting because that could mean they would withhold potentially the Fifth Kingdom, the um, Fifth Metropolis, the Tolnar, the non-boat ways to get between continents. It could all be lawless, maybe not. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely whatever resources and materials and lore is going to be down there. Yeah, it'd be a bit of an interesting thing. I don't know, maybe they'll have the time and capacity to get it in before
I,
launch.
I
Maybe
think you
not.
kind of have to build the Underrealm at the same time you're building the rest, right? I
I
don't
would
think
think
it.
so too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to be things like the parlor games, the stock market. Like, I think
Mhm.
these are the things likely that have been sort of um, just, they've
For
made this
sure. For
decision
sure.
to sort of
Yeah.
push them off. Um, Although, I mean, those probably haven't even been started at this point beyond theory. Sitting around a
They
boardroom
have a
table.
lot of stuff on the stove. They have a lot of stuff on the stove for sure. And I think they have more stuff on the stove now than they did in 2017.
Well,
Thank
they
you,
got
Stephen.
more people working. I did want to talk too. What time is it? About oh yeah, before we run out of time. It was this week that the voice channels got shut down, right?
I
Is that
don't
right?
know. So tell me what happened.
Yeah. That Intrepid decided to close down all of the voice channels in Discord
Oh,
because all of the I mean, it was apparently just like off the walls crazy. You're muted.
Yeah, this has been going for like an hour or two. Maybe it's better that I
And
was
there, you
muted because
posted some of it to our
yeah,
Discord.
and the stuff that I had before that was so much worse, and then the stuff that I was hearing even before I started recording was so much worse. Um, I want to say it was going on for like a couple hours. It sounded like it started off as the intention of a sort of meeting of a bunch of guilds from Vyra to come together and discuss
It would be Vira.
something. I don't know what they came to discuss, but what ended up happening was it devolved into just a bunch of hooting and hollering and yelling and calling each other, various types of slurs and insulting each other's families and, all of this and like not even trying to make a point and like just being really loud and trying to interrupt and just be the loudest voice in the room. And it was very messy. It definitely should have been moderated out much quicker. What ended up happening is that eventually they got a warning to chill out or things were going to start happening. And so initially it chilled out for a moment, then started ramping up again. And I don't know what they came in to discuss, but the way everyone basically came out was fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'll see you all on the new start server and fuck you up. And so it sounds like all
Bunch of
the
children.
sweaty hardcores are going to hit the fresh start server and vie for dominance there.
Bunch of children.
Cool. Someone clip that if you want. It's hilarious. That'll be a good one to look back on.
Bunch
so
of
when did
children.
that get shut down? Yesterday? Today?
Well, it was a few days ago.
It was when servers were offline.
It was
So
yeah,
Friday, Thursday,
it
Friday?
was on Thursday, I believe, when the servers were supposed to come up, but
But
they
got
still
borked.
hadn't, and people were already,
Here's
antsy and angry, and so
here's the thing. This also ties back to Rive's video, which again I think was a good video to watch. It has some very good points. And one, he kind of ended with the fact that nobody's playing, um, that everything's really dead. That the people that are there now are your sweaty, like, that is your core audience, that are the ones that are still there, that have multiple accounts, that are doing guild leveling, doing all these caravan runs. Everyone else is dipped at this point. My point being, though, like, your core group that is still there with you, that's who is in that voice chat getting voice channel shut down. That is your target audience. That is your core audience that you have brought in, that you have attracted at this point, at least. Like, that is your people. And how that translates to, if they grow, if and when they grow, I think it's going to be a very difficult process. I don't know. I get it. Steven wants to not, like, whatever, free speech, all that. But I mean, at some point, as a company, you got to come in and be like, look, there are some standards here. There are some things that we just have to, like, abide by, and I just don't see them doing that. I mean, otherwise, how else do you get to a public Discord channel on Ashes of Creation's own their own Discord public channel, and people just throwing all this around, like, um,
because those people are shameless and they don't care what they do and where they do it, just so long as they're number one while they're there.
And this is their core audience. Like, this is the people that are rolling with them at this point. So,
Oh, now, no. I want to be clear. All these people want to be the crown kings of preseason. They don't even want to know the systems. They just want to fight and rule by might.
mm-hmm.
And so that's why I'm definitely staying off the fresh start server. They can have it. I don't want to lose my progress. I want all of the new phase 3 players coming into this mature server and just being there like, please come join us. We will educate you on the game and give you a good opportunity to learn how the whole journeyman economy works. Everything's nice. Things are cheap. You can get every piece of the Ashen Haunt set for like 22 silver a piece, rare quality, over in Mirrorless, pretty much any time of day. So, yeah, this is a great time to come on if you're a new player. You can learn and get ahead so much faster and really start to enjoy the game that much easier. On the Fresh Start server, it's going to be a bunch of sweaty dudes swinging their weapons over their heads, yelling and smashing into each other. And if you ain't down with it, too bad. But they're also going to be the ones with the mayors. And instead of using their mayorship to build stuff, they're going to use their mayorship to build fucking combat buffs for node residents. And they're just going to use that flying mount to scout for wars, which, I hope they get used to not having at some point, because once castles and metropolis come in, not every mayor is gonna have some wings anymore. You have to earn it.
Well, I just thought it was just funny that they had to shut down just close it down. So it's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like it has to be bad at that point, because they let a lot of shit go on in that server.
Well, you heard what was going on. Like, it about 3% at most was an attempt at productive conversation, and the rest of it was any combination of yelling at and over people, levying insults, trying to make claims one way or another, trying to support or make fun of some evidence and some argument that nobody cared about. Um, it's um, it's goofy. So yeah, and of the level of stuff that was non-productive, I would say about maybe 80% of it wasn't like 85% of it wasn't like TV and radio appropriate. Oh,
Mm.
and then, of that, some portion was just absolutely like that's the sort of thing that if there weren't so many people doing it, it's like being in
Like being in a White House.
I was gonna say it's like being in a riot. They can't arrest everyone, and they're not gonna treat everybody with that person's individual rights at the level of participation. You know, everybody's there. Everybody's making a ruckus. I was mostly there muted. I didn't say hardly anything. It's just kind of observing, doing a little recording.
You were eating your popcorn and didn't want to interrupt with weird noises.
Yeah, I stopped. I was playing Lost Skies and checking that out, and it's like, no, I don't want the audio for that in with this recording. So I turned the game off and just started recording.
Yeah. Well,
That
I
that
really
was
hope, I really hope they don't just go to the. It's gonna be sad if they all do go to the new fresh start servers. Like, I would rather a fresh start server be for the actual fresh people, like, and not the people that have left sort of a trail, right? These are the ones that came from Resna, right?
it's not. Yes.
Like Resna got turned to shit. Then they all moved to Vira. Same thing kind of happens. Um, can't just stay on one server. Like you don't have to go everywhere new. But I don't think at the moment at the end of the day, really for PvP sweats, I don't know. There's certainly nothing really going on for casuals or PvE players at this point. So, but
Kind of
anyways,
waiting for more systems to come through before things get more exciting. I didn't actually level to 25 in phase 1, and in phase 2 I still haven't gotten there. Grinding is boring, and that's literally the only thing there is. I can't quest my way up. Um, Artisan tasks giving adventuring XP is so abysmally low. It you know the I doubt that I've gotten even level 10's worth of experience in artisan experience over the course of this, and that's just a fraction of what it's taken me now.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's taken a while. It's taken a while, but um I guess it gives me a reason to grind more glint.
I ain't got much more to say.
Um Yeah, I mean, we pretty well covered it. Like, Rogue will come when they come. I'm excited to see 2 more nodes in the desert, so that way the caravans that you can run for guild resources can be over 100,000 instead of just under 100,000 a piece. Um, I'm interested to see what they do with the tropics, how much they change what they currently have, because I feel like it's going to change a lot. And it might be something that they do like 2 or 3 iterative runs on. Um, I would like to see meaningful rewards with the node sieges. That's one of the things that node sieges, guild wars, guild territory wars, node territory wars, like those all need to have both good rewards for winning, and even if you don't get like a 24-hour buffer or whatever, some sort of material award for at least participating. If you actually participated. I, you know, when we're talking about the artisan stuff, I think back to, our interview with Steven back in September, and he said that the artisanship system was intended to be up and running late in phase 2. So, I mean, that's on track from even their earlier plan. So, I mean, it sounds like that's still going along at pace, plus or minus, for what they were looking for. I could see them standing up some of the systems, but not maybe fully implementing them all at first. Like adding the mechanics of like the hunting and the taming, but not all of the functionality and features and like cool animations and stuff initially. Um, Dual daggers, they're coming along. I would imagine. I doubt that they're going to do a PTR this week. And if they skip it, then PTR next week, I would imagine they're going to have a lot more to show with the rogues and the dual daggers. I'm still worried about things that are, going on. There's still critical bugs. People are still losing their caravans all of a sudden for no reason, not being able to recover them. Cargo can still get eaten if you accidentally click on the cargo storage for Samia's Hope or Lionhold. And, like, why would you give players 2 buttons to sabotage themselves when these are places that you shouldn't even be showing anyway? If you don't have, since you can't expand your cargo capacity in each town, if you don't have cargo there, don't put it on the list. When there's all of the nodes in the game out there, are we going to have 2 gargantuan lists for all of the nodes that we might have storage at, and all of the nodes where we might have caravan cargo at? I certainly hope not. That's way too much. I only want to know about the places where I have stuff. I don't plan to put a flower in every node and buy a 1x1 crate in every node. Like, that ain't the way. It doesn't make sense. So, that's one of those things. It's a critical issue. It needs to be addressed one way or another, but the very first would be just making it not do that. Yeah, and there's other exploits and stuff that I'm sure still haven't been worked out. Like we had talked about, freeholds. Freeholds, just everything about them is lackluster, and their return in a more presentable and functional state is something I'm definitely eager to see. And I'd like to see some player housing stuff too, and how all that works out. Especially since they took our beds away, we can't use the beds on freeholds for that extra 5% XP buff. Once everybody realized you could do it, they're like, wait, nope, we're going to take that away. Yoink! No plus 16 XP bonus for you using a scroll and the Mirrorleth buff and a bed. Yeah, you cheeky gamer trying to game the system like a gamer. One of the other things that I'm really worried about is that PTR, and I think I mentioned this earlier, it just doesn't have the gusto and momentum that it used to have when it was during the 4 days off, that there's so many more hands on deck, and it felt like it was a lot more productive and a lot more prepared and a lot more curation for the things that weren't just the node sieges. So that is something I'd like to see, is more of a test plan, more of a consideration of the environment you want the players to be testing in. If you want us to be doing anything with anything artisan related, the scrolls off Guy Guerreri are great, but we need all of the nodes to have different journeyman setups, and we need um, cheapo journeyman materials in the marketplaces that we can just go and buy, or just have Guy Guerreri be able to sell us, um, materials packs for the different journeyman tools, so we can just get those going and start it on the systems. So there's a little bit more tweaking and a little bit more stuff that they could do to pre-configure the PTR environment every time to make sure it's a little bit more productive based on what they want us to test. And I'd like to see a little bit more attention going in on that. But I know, like, Jacob had been doing a lot of that stuff for a while. He seems like he's been busy with a lot of things. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be something that an incoming producer would be able to help out with. I know they've got a listing for some producers and some other roles, so hopefully we'll get some people to start filling some of the gaps here pretty soon. And you know what? I really want to see more nodes. I'm tired of seeing the same 2 Klar node plugs in different regions. Like, it's kind of disappointing. On one hand, I don't want to learn every node and where everything is differently, but on the other hand, I'd rather that than have the same places over and over and over and over. And
Yeah,
just
and they're supposed to be different
locations.
based on
A lot of
which,
things.
yeah. So
It's supposed to have a lot of things that are different about them. I think the nodes themselves have a lot more systems coming soon too. Maybe not before May 1st, but certainly after, I would imagine we're going to start seeing. And yeah, they've got May 1st listed, so I don't actually think they're going to kick that. If worst case scenario, they're going to let people in, and um, they'll just be catching like the tail end of phase 2 instead of like the beginning of phase 3, essentially, if they've got to roll out the features a little bit later. Phase 3, yeah, at least a year. I don't think they're going to give us an estimate yet, because doing it in the true spirit of game development, an alpha is not done until you are feature complete. Does not mean you are content complete. Not in the least bit. All the land doesn't have to be there. All the story doesn't have to be there. All the races don't have to be there. All the equipment doesn't have to be there. That's content completion stuff. Feature complete is that all the systems work and they're in, and they've got all of their functionality implemented correctly, and it's stable. Like, those are what alpha is about. That's what feature complete is about.
Here's my
It doesn't mean. Go ahead.
to say here's my concern is that you have a lot of people that have been waiting for phase 3. They made the decision of, well, I don't want to deal with phase 1, phase 2. I'm just going to wait for phase 3, and because I think we've all said phase 3 is really the start of alpha 2 for real. But as we just saw, there's a whole lot of phase 2 that's not done yet. Like, if you start phase 3 on May 1st and you don't have half of phase 2 done yet, I just worry about the message that sends to the people that start phase 3 thinking, it's not, I don't know. Anyways.
So it's better for them to delay. It's better for them to announce that phase 3 won't start until September.
Yes.
It could just as easily be that, or stand up the new systems and features, but do it as like MVP as possible, and then rush to use all of May to get the rest of it up and running.
I don't know. I worry how that'll be handled. If I remember right, the start of phase 2 was also not the easiest, because everyone was super disappointed about how it was.
Well, the start of phase 2 was a hard one because the entire team went on vacation, so there wasn't going to be anything changing for like
Exactly.
about a month, and that was definitely rough.
Exactly.
The team's not going on vacation at the beginning of May.
But
They're
if
going
you
to be
get to May and you don't have half of phase 2 done, I think I would say you just say, you know what, we're extending phase 2. We're not going to quit, but we extend phase 2 for X number of months, and then we'll start phase 3. I would rather them do that. I know we've.
Oh, it's scam. It's the same as Star Citizen. It's
I
basically Star Citizen all over again.
no, you you have a
You want to
game.
buy a starship this big?
I mean, I think
No,
people are
I'm
more
kidding.
likely to say it's a scam when you don't have half of what you're supposed to have in it.
Star Citizen. It's Star Citizen.
They've got everything from phase 1 except item deconstruction.
They don't
Um,
have dynamic gridding.
oh right, they're still working on that, and we got a bit of an answer on that.
It's not a scam. It's a lifestyle. We got an answer on that. What was the answer? We don't have it done yet.
It was a technical answer, but they're working on it.
Well, yeah, because it's a highly
They're coming
technical thing that's not been
they're
figured
coming
out.
close. But what happened is the people that were working on it were pulled away to some other things, so they had to kind of pause
Which
their
is a
work.
problem.
They've come back to it now, and after reviewing what they had worked on previously, it looked like it was legit, and so they'll be able to continue making progress from there. So that's good.
Though to be fair, I think you have Star Citizen also that said they were doing it. That's not happened yet either. So
Mhm.
um,
Yes.
there was Sticky asked. Sorry, I meant to get back to this Sticky, and where did it go? You asked the question. Do you guys know if all nodes are supposed to be surrounded with low-level mobs, then towards the edge of the ZOI, higher-level mobs? Or will some nodes just have higher-level mobs close to it? Bummed out by the strong mobs in the desert. I think it's kind
Yeah,
of mixed,
the
right?
desert's got a problem to it. It's got a next zone sort of like, when you leave the first zone and like wow, and then the next zone is a little bit harder. It accidentally seems like that's happened with it. I think they still need to do another pass on the desert, and I'm hoping when the last two nodes get in, they'll be able to do some work on that. You're right. And to further what I was saying, the mounts from the desert are by and large better and faster than the ones from the Riverlands, except the Runic Steed Beasts of Burden, I believe, are still the best Beasts of Burden, or maybe the Pale Halberders or Plumed Halberders or whatever. Um, Maybe those ones actually outclass it overall, but for the most part, yeah, like the mounts in the desert were much easier to get for the amount of speed that they deliver compared to the ones in the Riverlands, and much easier to get too. Like Daystriders, nobody's even trying to get because Scorpions are buggy and they're extra fast. Buggy. Hardhead, yes. um, Yeah, they should be making them easier. They should be
40
making
gold? Why does anything
it
cost 40 gold at this point?
because you aren't one of the people who can go out with the crew and go tame them and then have them turn into
I'm just
mounts
saying
for
how
you.
much wealth is already in in the world. That's crazy. I mean, that's the duping server, right? Because I
Well,
play to the
even
EU
if you
folks.
play legit, if you just grind glint and run caravans and you're not running the guild caravan crates, you're just building up tons and tons and tons of gold.
Well, because I play largely EU time when I play, right? So people see, they're over on the EU server, and they see the price of stuff that we have on Vira, and they're like, "What the hell? Like that's so much money!" Like, and I think it's that way because there's been so much duping and shit over time that there's just a lot of wealth in Vira. I mean, I guess maybe you could also have a lot of the sweatier guilds there too, but
We definitely have like known RMTers on.
You've had a very well-known person post publicly on the Ashes of Creation Discord about RMTing, so runs a guild. Anyways,
Yep.
I'm hoping. I am at this point. I have not streamed for 2 or 3 weekends.
Ashes.
Yeah. Well,
Not
really,
streamed Ashes.
well, not at all for about two weekends. But I've not streamed Ashes for 3 or 4. And I don't think I'm going to really do anything with Ashes until the rogue gets here. Even then, I've been thinking about whether just to wait until phase 3. But
Wait till the big update and maybe like a little of the bugs have been patched out. I think it'll be fun.
I've hit the mode of burned, like tired of the grind. You know, the experience has started to get not so much fun for me. Which then also starts putting the spotlight on the other stuff, right? Like, if you're not having fun in the game, then you're doing like my dumbass is and looking at phase 2 on the screen at what's not there. So that's where No Man's Sky has sort of popped in.
Take a break, play other games.
Yeah, play some other games. I've been playing a little bit of the one that you're wearing the shirt for.
Yes, Stars Reach. Another one that's I wish the best for them. We'll see how things go.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I need to jump in and play with you sometime.
No, I think there's some great ideas. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of work that's still like it's. I don't know. It's combat's wonky, UI's wonky, all of that. So, but yeah, Stars Reach. Just throwing that out there. It is on Kickstarter right now. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
For like a week. Yeah, about a week.
they funded. I don't know. The last I saw, they were somewhere nearing I think $500,000 or something like that. But
Yeah. They got their goal in an hour.
well, it's not surprising. It was a low goal. It was like 200,000 or 250 or something. But like 40,000 of it came from 4 people that bought the $10,000 packages. So, but there's still a lot of work for Stars Reach. But the general, some of the ideas behind it are really kind of neat, and definitely have some well-known developers that have made some pretty good games in the past, at least. Although a lot of our old folks that we grew up playing, you know, their successor games have not necessarily done very well. So I hope that's not the case here, but we'll see.
Yep.
I'm enjoying crafting and piling up golden ashes still. I find it relaxing. I just don't, Drunk Ninja. I don't know. That grind, the processing component, I think is extremely. It needs a lot of work. Processing, I just think needs a ton of work. At least the harvesting is somewhat feels okay. It feels fun. It feels okay to go up and hit rocks and cut down trees, but to go then deposit it into an NPC's lumber mill, and then wait 4 hours or however long it is. It's I don't know. That needs some work.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's all I got for this show. I don't know if y'all have anything else left.
Nope. That'll do it
No,
until next show.
I enjoyed the last live stream, and you know, maybe if you watch it, we'll talk about that a little bit more next time.
I got 2 to watch.
Yeah.
There's just
Do your
not been
homework.
anything.
There was Snipey.
Well, yeah, I would have watched if I had known that, but yeah.
Oh, you know now.
Yeah, I'll go back and watch so I can hear the wise man speak. So, all right, we're gonna raid Pockets. I think they're over there fighting. Actually, suspect is, I think, fighting Genesis right now. So scrims. So, we're gonna raid over to Pockets, but we will try, or I will try. I'm usually, if we're not here on a Sunday, it's probably my fault. We'll try to be more regular.
We'll try to be Yes, we'll try to be on more often.
So, but all right. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We will see you next Sunday. And Activia, what did I say?
Oh, about being more regular.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna make a constipation joke too.
Yeah. That's the problem. I'm over there trying to take a shit rather than stream. But all right, y'all. Have a good week, and yeah, we'll see you next Sunday. Peace.
See you later, everybody. Take care.
All right, YouTube folks, we are saying goodbye to you as well.